Thank you, Jackson. How beautiful it is to raise the vibrations of the group as we welcome all those in spirit that are here too, to be uplifted, to be showered in love, and for all here present to know that this is a time for us to be truly joyous, for we are discussing such topics that are at the core of who we are and what we think about and what we long to be, what we are affected by. The topic tonight, no. Can I first say welcome to everyone here on Zoom, and for those that come later to Zoom that are watching in the customary position of the lounge or your favorite cubby space. We are so joyous to be able to be a part of your life. Thank you. We are tackling this evening, actually for several weeks now, we have been tackling the topic of evolution, and it doesn't come easy because it is truly something that has so many facets. And as my sister is doing lectures tonight, I don't have a PowerPoint, so please know that if there is anything that you would like to know, can I just share the sources that I have used in this topic presentation? The Spirit's book. This one is Keys to Soul Evolution. It is by Jill Mara. Sorry, I've lost my glasses. Sorry, Jill Mara. Keys to Soul Evolution, a gateway to the next dimension. It is a book that has been also psychographed, and the spirit entities are called Simeon. And this one is the Conversations with God, book 3. And it is by Neil Donald Walsh, and speaks a lot about highly evolved beings, or Hebs. So they discuss, God and Neil together discuss lots of different facets of the beings that from other dimensions and other planets that are beyond this dimension that we are experiencing at the moment. So quite interesting to explore. We also tuned into a series of presentations by Greg Braden, which Jackson, you also tuned into the first episode of, yes. And also Lynn McTaggart, who is a brilliant scientist who works in noetic sciences. So looks at the energies of the soul and actually captures that in scientific language. Quite marvelous and beautiful, yes. There is also one other, and I am trying to remember his name. It will come to me, yes. In actual fact, the idea of evolution for all of us has been and is a widely, not necessarily controversial, but it is a topic that even in the Spirit's book is confounding. Sometimes it is not so clear cut. But one thing that we are told by the entities that are channeled in the Spirit's book chapter 1, question 11 is, I need to look. One moment. And I don't have my glasses, so we may be in trouble. The question is, will man ever become able to comprehend the mystery of the divinity? And the answer to this one is, when his mind shall no longer be obscured by matter. This is hugely impactful for all of us, for we are so often led to believe that our spirit is bound to an earthly body, and that our earthly experience is one that is condemned almost to trials and tribulations, to paying off our debts from previous lifetimes. But in this, that we are all going to evolve into a higher state of being. But in this, I do sense that the answer by the Spirit, matter seems to obscure the possibilities for us all. Matter is something that we have been led to believe is dense and unchangeable. And this is something that I guess in the topic of evolution, our evolutionary phases are definite. There is no need to argue that we have come a long way in humanity. As humans, we have evolved over time to become much more aware. We are embracing our consciousness. But matter in itself has often led us to use it as a scapegoat, to not be drawn into our perfections because of this matter, that which we sense, that which we see. This is something that has been long supported by Newtonian theory. He, in his time, in his brilliance, but in error, suggested to mankind that matter and energy were separate. He thus was able to release science from the church and enabled science to go on its merry way and not be answerable to the church. The church at that time was in favor of looking after the spiritual. And science then took on its own path. And then it appeared that science and religion, or science and spirituality, were two distinct and often combating forces, and yet they are intertwined. Newtonian theory in recent years, of course, in the early 1900s, was overturned when we embraced or were introduced to that which Spiritism also, what does it do? It heralds. And that is the theory of, I have forgotten what it is. It is quantum mechanics, quantum theory, that everything is energy, that we are all energetic bodies. Our spirit intertwines with our bodies. We receive the energy of light and love, and it ignites our bodies. And as we sit here, my body too is vibrating at a level that normally it doesn't when I am just chilling, because we are speaking in truth. We know that the atom was given a name because it was a fundamental building block, that it was unable to be, what is the word? To be divided. And now we know, of course, that the atom has and comprises many, many different parts. But when you break those parts, those components apart, the protons and the electrons and the neutrons, if you then further divide, what we get is energy. Why is this so important to discuss? It is important because we are dynamic beings and we are given a set of circumstances and a set of genes, a certain set of DNA. But can they dictate our life? Can they dictate the course of our well-being? And this is, I guess, where we are heading. I say no. Each cell in our body, and we have trillions of cells, is surrounded by a membrane. The membrane in recent science confirms that it is the membrane, the outer membrane of the cell, that is the brain of the cell. It is not in the nucleus itself. This is revolutionary. And it also allows us to evolve consciously, to release the ideas that we are victims of our experience. And we are given opportunity to embrace our experience, to embrace our bodies, and to receive the energies that we long to attract to ourselves, to rewrite our DNA, to actually activate cells in our bodies that will create greater well-being, greater consciousness, greater attraction to vibrations and awareness and consciousness of greater than what we are told that we are. This is a magnificent step towards our evolutionary, what is it? It is a journey, but our evolutionary consciousness and awareness. I am uplifted always by the energies that are communicated to me through your prayers, through your love, through your connections to me, and I receive them and they ignite my cellular structure. They ignite my being to the core. And it is this power that all of us, I sense, need to be aware of, that we are not victims, but we are creators. We are creators of our experience. This is all good for me to say this. And for many of you, you say, wow, well, I am here, a middle-aged person with kids, and I have a job and this and that. These are the given circumstances that I'm given, and I need to go through the drudgery sometimes. Sometimes the elation, sometimes the sadness, sometimes the frustration, sometimes the anger, sometimes all that exists in the human repertoire of emotions. The emotions are our guideposts. They are to be loved and to be recognized for what they are communicating to us. Each of us has a brilliant, creative story to tell. So many of us are driven to distraction by certain aspects in our lives, and we ask ourselves, why is it that that keeps turning up? Why is it that people keep cutting in on me on the freeway? Why is it that I am continually up against this and this situation? We are given opportunity each day to recognize that our life, it's like we are sitting in a, what is it, a game, a computer game. Each of our stories is different. Each of our realities is different. The messages that we receive each day are different to another's, even in the same family. We are given information about our bodies, about the news that we read. What do? We digest it and we perceive so differently to another. We ask ourselves, what is this telling us? This is opportunity to evolve. For me, we discussed this the other night, Jackson. We discussed this in love. Rather than using the word evolution, let us look at the word expansion. For our heart expansion, every day, in every situation that we are shown, like in a video game, our own creation. You see something I don't see. That is because you are on your journey to find expansion. So you will be bugged by something that I won't be bugged by. And the opportunity to ask yourself, what is this that continues to bug me? Embrace it and say, before you let off steam, before you go for it in a rage, take a deep breath and say, Heavenly creation, what is this that you are needing me to find out? What is it that I am now needing to embrace? So we are considering each and every situation in our lives an exploration of consciousness rather than an adventure. It is that we are given opportunity this day, this moment, to hear what we hear and see how it sits in our truth. Will this stimulate me? I wonder why this isn't stimulating me. What is it telling me about myself? Because your journey is one that we can certainly, and my journey too, that we can interact, that we can assist, that we can explore hand in hand together. But ultimately, we are one, but we are many. And each of our experiences enables us to embrace the other, yes, but to use each opportunity to explore that which is shown to us. So a person on the freeway, why is it that PESC, we continue to talk about people driving? Anyway, yes. But a person on the freeway is somebody to be embraced. Why is it triggering me? And in the next car, they are not being triggered at all. What is it showing me about my expansion, my heart expansion? The generosity of creation has led us to a grand point where we are finally, throughout history, it has come to this, where there are so many talking about consciousness, where there are so many talking about awareness, where there are so many talking about the perfection of the creation. So, my grandmother is having a hard time at the moment. My uncle has leukemia. My grandfather has Alzheimer's and is struggling with other health issues like glaucoma, so he's losing his eyesight. Other family members are also struggling. She is sad. She is wanting for perfection, and yet she denies perfection. Because it is heartbreaking for her. It is heartbreaking to see her son in such hardship. It is heartbreaking and difficult for her to care for her husband. It is heartbreaking for her neighbors as they live in a retirement village, for them to say goodbye to their loved ones as they pass on. So my mum said to her the other night, do not be worried. It's all good to worry about how my uncle will rehabilitate or how he will convalesce at home. There are so many logistics, and she worries. But for what reason do we worry? For what reason do we fear when there is perfection in all things and love in it all? We are gifted and surrounded by love. The creation itself is love. It is our perspective and our perception that needs to lead us to higher frequencies, to lead us to higher dimensions. And yet we do not need to change what we are. Our bodies are vibrating and dynamic entities. Our spirit is housed in a temple. We are not victims, but we are incredibly gifted. Life's turmoils and tribulations are the gift for expansion, a gift for evolving. For it is not what we do with these challenges, with these troubles, with these worries. It is not what we do with them, but how we are being. It is in the being that we translate the situations. We translate them, we change our perception, our perspective, and honor them, each and every one of them, and say thank you for each of these trials. How we deal with them, how we are with them, will determine as to whether we expand in our heart space or whether we slow the expansion, whether we slow the evolution of our souls and also of the souls of those around us. Yes. It is incredible for each of us to honor, to be given opportunity to honor those that are around us, those that have touched our lives, but also those beings that are of kindred spirit and light in this world, to honor their journey as we honor ours. What an honor to see them, to break through our rigidity, to find peace in our journey and know that it is all perfect, to know that we are given every opportunity to shift a gear in our heart space, to shift a gear in our souls, and to embrace, to learn about compassion, to find it finally in our heart space and not to speak of it, but to know it, to no longer speak of love, but to be it, to no longer long for wisdom, but to be wisdom. This is evolution. And this is our right. This is incredibly powerful. And in our body, recognize that we are vibrating tonight at a higher level than we have been vibrating today. When we see another that triggers something in us, that triggers compassion, that triggers somehow a tear to our eye, what is it that we are doing? We are remembering. We are coming back to our divinity because we are feeling that sense of connectedness to that other. When we hear of a story that touches our hearts, we cannot but allow the tears to fall. These are not tears of sadness, but they are tears recognizing our connectedness to them and to God, for which we all are a part. When we watch a movie, we are often I hate it because the directors know, the screenplayers know that they are going to trigger a response. But what they are doing is triggering in us a moment where we connect to our compassion, to our love, to our sense of being that is without words. When tears flow, we cannot speak. I love the story of a set of twins that were born in the United States. They were premature and they put the twins, they separated them after they were born and placed them in two different humidity cribs. One was failing and the other was flourishing, was doing well. But it was their standard procedure to separate the children, to separate the babies. And yet for all that time, for the 9 months prior, they were together, they were connected, they were of kindred light. The one that was failing was doing so poorly that a nurse that was on duty took it upon herself against regulations and took the child and placed it next to her brother. Once the child was reunited with the brother, the arm of the brother automatically, without any kind of prompting or placement, the other placed its arm around the failing child. Within several days, you know the story, the outcome. They both did well. The failing child regained her health and her strength. They are now, I think, in their teens. It is a story that we are, see, my mum is off again, yes. But we are uplifted by such expressions of love. To consider ourselves, what is it? We are privileged, all of us. Not just those that live well, not just those that are rich, not just those that are given privilege, not just those that live in a healthy body. All of us. There is not one of us that is given a rough trot. Some have said that I am a product of my parents' wrongdoings, and that is why I am who I am. Of course, this is nonsense. This is an incredible blindedness on the part of those that succumb to that which is solid, that which is material, that which presents itself solely and superficially to the eye, that which allows for judgment. All of us are blessed, and all of us are evolving spirits. None of us can say, oh, they are further down the evolutionary trail than me. And all of you know that. All of us are given opportunity after opportunity to experience life in tremendous creativity and diversity. And why do we do this? So that the united and universal consciousness can expand. Because the consciousness itself recognizes all that is not only humanity, but recognizes all of the creation. And in so doing, we embrace nature. We embrace the animals. We embrace plants and trees. We embrace all that is. For there is nothing that is imperfect. And what a joy to be able to explore it together. So it is, we look at evolution and we say, great. For this night, we can expand our hearts by shifting our perception. And that is all it takes. It takes for each of us to explore why we think certain things. The agreements that we have spoken of before. Why do we have such agreements with ourselves? We are fat, we are ugly, we are not as good as others. We can let them go. Shift our perception and say, those precepts are no longer relevant. For I am perfect. I may be overweight, but you know what? I love myself, and to be more healthy, I think I will lose weight. Rather than bashing our egos, bashing our physical beings, cutting ourselves short of that which is divine, not only in nature, but divine in every essence. I can't believe I am speaking this tonight. I have written notes. We have talked a lot about the whole idea of evolution. We can talk about the evolution of the human race or the evolution of the universe. But why is it relevant? Is it relevant to us? What we need to extract or extrapolate, and that was what I was having trouble with. I didn't even write anything down for the run of the presentation. I couldn't bring myself to a point where what is it? It is like before the actual event, prioritizing. But the energy that is here right now helps to prioritize that which needs to come forth. It is trusting the innate. It is trusting ourselves. I am trusting you to bring forth that which needs to be brought forth this night. Those that are in spirit and those that are here connecting to Zoom, we create together. by releasing the fear that we are not good enough, that we are not prepared, that we don't have what it takes to share something that may assist another. To release the fear is something that we all need to continually do so that we are present. We evolve. It is funny because evolve almost means to move forward. And yet the expansion of the heart and the revelation of the soul requires us to be present in this moment, to release the need to look beyond, and to release our attachment to the past so that our heart can expand in perfection. Yes, yes, yes. I don't know what the time is. Yes. It's 7:58. You're actually short today, mate. Yes.
Yeah, you finished before 8. That's you.
Are there any questions? Yes, there is so much to talk about, and I know I have left out so much, but maybe it is for us all to share so that we can bring forth that which needs to assist those that are in spirit and also those that are present. Yes. Yes.
For me, it was great the way that you put through that, things that we've been talking a lot for the past months or so, of the oneness that we all part of one, and then our evolution is not something that is like a run that who's gonna be there first. It's and I really like the change of evolution to expansion.
Yeah.
Expansion. Yes.
That we are already there, but we just have to expand so we can use the full potential that we have. It's just like for on the other way that I talked on a lecture that I gave a few months ago about, for example, if there is a river, the fount is the same, but how are you gonna get the water from there is up to you. Like some people can go with a little cup of water and absorb or expand a little cup of water. Some people can go with a bucket, and maybe some people can go with a truck to load, with a lot of water. So I like this concept that it's something that is always up to us, but not like in a run. So everyone has their journey and timing to kind of achieve and feel how you're doing, like feeling it, and wait for that to resonate it with you. Because for another thing is, I remember when I encounter spiritism through Alex, and then I start to studying it, and because I was raised on a church, on a Protestant church, and never found peace in my heart over there. I kind of absorbed things that I think was good for me, and the other things they just talk and I didn't agree and didn't touch my heart. I just let it go. But then when you found something that resonates with you and you accept that, and you take your own journey, your own time to understand and try to put that in action in your life, I think then things become more organic. Just like the evolution you're saying right now, it's not that we're on a race and like everyone needs to be perfect, because we know at the end gonna be the same for everyone. But it's something that accept where we are right now and what we can achieve, and take a deep breath in and do the best that we can with the tools that we have right now, and just one step each time. And that's a great expansion. It's a great evolution for all of us. And it doesn't matter if uh, achieve the perfection as people always talk about, but as long as it's natural and it's resonate with you, what with your truth, and knowing you are doing good for you and for those that are surrounded you. Not sure I've made myself clear.
Yeah. Yes. But each of us at this time, so many of us are given this message to awaken to every moment, to awaken to the events, to awaken to the people around us, to awaken to why it is that we are experiencing as an individual, why we are experiencing what we are experiencing. If we are given trouble, if we are encountering trouble, what is it showing us?
Yeah.
How are we in that moment? Are we filled with fear? Are we filled with dread? Are we filled with worry? Are we filled with a sense of foreboding? Or do we look at it and say, thank you. I know we are in good hands. My friend for 23 years died 2 days ago. He is the same age as me and was born in the same hospital as me. He also had cerebral palsy, and his struggle was for a long time. His family is devastated, they say. And I too am touched by his passing. And yet I know all is good. Do I worry for his family? No, I surround them in love. I uplift each of them. And I thank Luke for his contribution to my life, to the lives of those around him. Each situation, each moment, we are given that chance to be aware of how we are being in that moment. When we drop something, do we curse it? Or do we say, oh, that happened maybe because I was going to say what mum says, but I won't say that.
I usually do sometimes.
Yes. How are we in each of those moments? And it is in settling ourselves, in finding peace in each moment. If we are late, so be it. There is a reason for why we are late. If we drop something, there is something that is trying to communicate to us, to draw our attention to something. Maybe our mind is elsewhere. Come back to the present, the dropped thing says. Yes. In every moment, we are given opportunity to change our perspective to something that is calm and peaceful. If it is something that we fear, it is something that we have preempted. For in that moment of need, in that moment, for example, when I am critically ill, my mom steps in and knows what to do. She is not afraid. She steps in and she does clinically what is necessary. And for others, it may seem horrific, but it is necessary for her to be present and for me to find her presence in that moment calming and reassuring. For when we live in fear, we've missed the moment because we're thinking about something in the future that doesn't actually, may not, in most cases, will not eventuate. But when we are in the moment, our bodies, our minds, our spirits know what to do. And we handle that supposedly fearful situation, we handle it because we are present. And this is the gift of an expanding soul, because we are given opportunity to live now. Perspective needs to be awakened, to be shook, to be changed, to be altered, to be uplifted, to find peace. If we have a perspective that is negative, ask yourself, what is it? What have I got to deal with here? Stop yourself each moment. Before you articulate, breathe in and sit in your heart space and say, is this appropriate or is it not? Choose your words. Your words create energy in yourself and spill over into the environment around you. We are completely and utterly energetic vibrations, all of us. And we can deal with it in a loving and kind way, generous and united with all things around us. Or we can slow the pace of our expansion and slog it out until we are kicked into realization. And that time will come for all of humanity, where we are forced into it. And often that comes with great disasters, with great heartache. And then we are given no other option but to embrace it for what it is. But as aware and brilliant beings that we all are, we are the lamplighters, because we are wanting so much to find peace and love in everything we do. And in doing so, we expand not only ourselves in everything that we are, but those around us. And we don't even need to shout from the hilltops, because our vibration will be what is that word? Undoubtedly, it will speak of truth and of love. Yes, yes.
Anyone else would like to do any contribution? Otherwise, we can proceed. No?
Brilliant.
Huh?
Brilliant. Brilliant perspective. Thank you very much, Colleen.
You too, Jackson. You too, Carmen.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great.
Expanding. So.
And it doesn't need to hurt.
Yes.
It's not stretching, but opening. Yes, yes.
That's great. So if we don't have any more questions or contributions, Colleen, if you can please finalize with our final prayer and our prayer box. And I just would like to invite you all to have your water near you and your minds with in your minds the names that you wish to send their love and expand their love and involve them. And yeah, that's it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you all. Let us close our eyes. And sense our body. Feel it vibrating. And if you are not, then go deeper. Allow the vibration to continue as we open our crown chakra, and allow for white light to pour down through and to bathe our bodies in this love. Lord of light and love, we are creatively bringing forth that which you have given us opportunity to do so. We sit in gratitude for all that we have been, for all that we have experienced, and we love it. That which we once thought terrible, we now look upon as gifts of life. The stuff of life that has helped us to be who we are. We have come to know our compassion. We have come to know our connectedness to one another. We have come to know our connectedness to you. We remember with you. We are extraordinary because of everything that you are. That is everything that we are collectively. Our hearts are filled with a sense of anxiety each day, filled with news about the world, news about our loved ones that are challenged, news that our loved ones are struggling. Whether it is COVID or whether it is through illness, emotional, or physical challenges. Camelot is in the hearts of many of us. It is strange to say in this prayer to the universe, but the creative story of Camelot was one where all were able to sit at the round table. All were accepted for who they were. And we know that we are accepted in light and in love, Heavenly Father, and yet we struggle in our days. In the things that we say and do, we struggle to find acceptance for ourselves. We struggle to find acceptance for our brothers and sisters. We struggle to find acceptance of our environment. We struggle to find acceptance in our workplace. We struggle with our acceptance with the roles that we take on as parents, as aunts and uncles, as grandparents. We struggle with the labels. And in this moment, Heavenly Father, we release the labels. On behalf of all those around the world, we release it all in love. And we ask for the blessings that are already bountiful upon us. We ask for nothing. We cannot ask for more than that which is already perfection. May the love that we share in this moment soften the hearts of those that are feeling destitute and wanting and in pain, unable to understand. We shower them in love. We shower them with the message that all is good. And if it is that your life is in danger, it is not in danger. Your life is always in good hands. We refuse no one in our uplifting prayers, in our vibrations that join with the one collective light of love. We join with you all and know that all you need to do is to reach out and to ask the other in prayer or in your thoughts. It is the same. Know that we are connected. And if you need energy, then it is that we are there for you. We will sense it and we will send it, for we are one. Blessings upon us all, showering us in peace and joy and gentle love. We thank you all. Amen.
Thank you, Colleen. Thank you, Yvonne. It was a
Thank
beautiful
you.
night. Listen to you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Have a nice week.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
God
Thank
bless you
you.
all.
Thank
Have
you.
you a blessed week.
Thank you.
Be
Bye-bye.
brilliant as you are. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And just keep an eye on our WhatsApp groups and Facebook. Then we let you know if you're able to come back next week or not. All right. Bye.
Thank
We'll
you.
always be via Zoom, but yeah, physical place, we're still waiting for, COVID liberations and all. Bye.
Bye.